Hey everyone, it's Johnny here from Hot Take Hockey to give you 8 NHL players that got the biggest raises for this NHL season. I'm going to talk about an honorable mention and then go through the 8 biggest raises. So if you are here and you're new to the channel, please subscribe, smash that like button. Let's get a lot of likes on this video and have those notifications on so you're here for all the content, here for all the videos, here for all the live streams. Playoffs are going to be a lot of fun this year. Some of these players are going to be guys that are coming out of their entry-level deals, stars that are on the entry-level deals, and they were high draft picks, and they're getting their big, huge deals. And some of these players are guys that were either in the free agency market or guys that weren't getting paid enough or getting underpaid before. We're going to go through those 8 players, but I want to talk about one story as an honorable mention. He didn't necessarily get one of the biggest raises over the offseason, but Jordan Binnington. We're talking about a guy that out of his entry-level deal, he was signing short-term deals in 4 different contracts in 6 years. He gets called up in January, wins the Stanley Cup, brings the Blues back into the playoffs, wins the Stanley Cup, and his new contract gives him a salary of $4.55 million. It's not his average annual salary, so I have to make that clear. Obviously, total salaries come at different amounts for each year, so that I got to make that clear for the different players I talk about. His salary for the 2019-2020 NHL season is $4.55 million, more than he had made over the last 6 years. Obviously, tax, we're not going to talk about that stuff as well, but Jordan Binnington, a huge, crazy story, and I wanted to use him as an honorable mention. So we'll start at number 8. Number 8 is Jacob Trouba. So Trouba, honestly, this is a guy that there was a lot of issues with him, with the Winnipeg Jets, and he signed a 1-year contract. We weren't sure if he was going to get traded. He was on that bridge deal at an AAV of, I think it was 3.3, and then the 1-year deal he signed for $5.5 million he was making for the 2018-2019 season. He just didn't want to be in Canada, I don't think. He just didn't want to be with the Winnipeg Jets. He was traded to the New York Rangers and signed an 8-year, $8 million AAV against the cap, and his total salary for this year, the 2019-2020 season, $12 million. So he went from 5.5 to $12 million from one season to the next, $6.5 million. That is a huge raise for a guy. He's a defenseman. He's either going to be their best, second best, third best. He's going to be the top 2 or top 3 for the Rangers for years to come. That Rangers team is going to be very good. And $8 million for a right shot defenseman, not bad if Jacob Trouba can consistently be good for that team. And you know what? I think he's still going to get better. But what a raise. $6.5 million from 1 year to the next. Number 7, Kyle Connor. So this is an example of coming right out of your entry-level deal. Kyle Connor put up numbers. This guy can score, 23 years of age. He was on his entry-level deal, so it was a total salary of $925K, and this year's total salary, $7.5 million. So we're talking about over a $6.5 million raise, similar to what we just saw with Jacob Trouba. So again, crazy raise for a guy that just recently stepped on the scene, and he's been very good in the last 2 years for the Winnipeg Jets. So what a raise for Kyle Connor. Next up, Erik Karlsson. So we're talking about a little bit of experience here in Erik Karlsson. In the 2010s decade, he was one of the best, if not the best, arguably, defenseman in that decade, and he was so influential. Yes, the Ottawa Senators didn't win a Stanley Cup, but he dragged that team to the Eastern Conference Final in 2017. In the 2018-2019 NHL season, he had a $6.5 million cap hit, but his total salary was $7.5. In 2019-2020, yes, his cap hit is $11.5, but his total salary is $14.5. Crazy. Going from a 7.5 to a 14.5, a $7 million raise. Erik Karlsson, still a very good defenseman. Yes, the defensive struggles, the San Jose Sharks have not been good, but Erik Karlsson individually deserved a raise. A lot of people thought it was way too much, especially with the injury issues, but a $7 million raise for Erik Karlsson. All right, next up at number 5, Artemi Panarin. So I think this one's absolutely crazy. The fact that he was undrafted, already 28 years old. He's only had 3 contracts at 28. Obviously no entry-level deal coming out of because he wasn't drafted. He signed that 2-year deal with Chicago. In 2015-2016, in his first year with the Chicago Blackhawks, he was making a total salary of $700K. In the next year, the 2016-2017 season, $925K total salary. So $925,000, obviously still a lot of money. But then transitioning into the 2017-2018 season, this was signing with the Blackhawks, a total salary of $6 million. So for both years, he was making a total salary of $6 million. That continued on to when he was with the Columbus Blue Jackets. Traded to the Blue Jackets, the main piece going the other way was Brandon Saad. And then, of course, he then became a UFA. The Blue Jackets didn't re-sign him. Obviously not their choice. I think they wanted to re-sign him. Panarin signs this huge 7-year deal with the New York Rangers at 11.642 AAV against the cap, and his total salary $14 million. To jump from 6 to 14, $8 million raise. Artemi Panarin, we're talking about $925K in the 2016-2017 season. He went 2 years with $6 million, and now $14 million in 1 year. That's more than he's made over the course of his first 4 years. And that was kind of similar to Jordan Binnington. Jordan Binnington making more in this year than he did in his first 6 years as the professional. So pretty crazy. I think if you're talking about what we're seeing from Artemi Panarin and the fact that he's one of these superstars in the league, this is a contract he deserved. Yeah, it was a lot, but it was in the open market, and from $6 million to $14 million. But I just think the transition of 2016-2017, $925K, undrafted, and now in 2019-2020, you're making a total salary of $14 million. Crazy. All right, number 4, Sebastian Aho, coming out of his entry-level deal, $925K, and now a $12 million total salary. That's crazy. Over an $11 million raise. I think the difference was that this was very front-loaded, so the fact that he is making $12 million, but then you're looking at the last 2 years of his deal, his salary is 6 and 6. So that makes the difference. The Montreal Canadiens gave that offer sheet, and it was very front-loaded. Had it been maybe a little more money, but in the Carolina Hurricanes' control, you might not be seeing that $12 million in that first year, but at the end of the day, the Montreal Canadiens did that on purpose, and Sebastian Aho became one of the richest players for the 2019-2020 season. Number 3, Mikko Rantanen. Rantanen, he went through the contract issues. They didn't know if he was going to re-sign or not. His total salary in 2018-2019 was $832.5K. His total salary in 2019-2020, exactly the same as Sebastian Aho, $12 million. So again, over an $11 million raise. Crazy. And Mikko Rantanen, we know he's one of the better players on that Colorado Avalanche team. Number 2, AM34, Austin Matthews, drafted first overall in the 2016 NHL entry draft, 22 years old, and signed a huge deal, 11.634 AAV against the cap. He went from his entry-level deal last year, making $925K in a total salary, to $15.9 million. $15.9 million of a total salary. Austin Matthews, right in the thick of it for the Rocket Richard with Alex Ovechkin and David Pastrnak, a $15.9 million total salary. And very similar to Austin Matthews, Mitch Marner. And for both these guys, it's very heavily relied on bonuses. And Mitch Marner went from that 2018-2019 season entry-level deal, $832.5K, to $16 million. And we know the Paul Marner thing. We know the whole situation of the contract negotiations for Mitch Marner was very tough. Austin Matthews, it was done during the season. No one had to worry about it again. Mitch Marner, it went right till the end. Right till the end. Yes, he was ready for the season, but it was right to the end of things. And he ends up with a $16 million total salary for this year. Very heavily front-loaded, and at a 10.893 AAV against the cap. $16 million. Mitch Marner is the NHL player that got the biggest raise from the 2018-2019 to 2019-2020 season. So thank you for watching. Let me know what you think about these players. If you think they are earning these salaries this year, if they're way overpaid, if they're underpaid. I doubt they're underpaid. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section. Please smash that like. More likes motivates me to make more content. If you want more hockey content, please smash that like button, and honestly subscribe. I think this community is great. This channel keeps growing. We have a dope community, positive vibes all the time. So thank you guys. This was John from Hot Take Hockey. A lot more content to come. Playoffs are going to be dope. See you next video. Peace out.